So Mark, why are we here?
Well, we're at Happy Days Farming Company. We're 2,000 hectares spread across North Lincolnshire. We've got 5 different blocks of farmland on some very variable land types, ranging from nearly blow-away sand to some clay. And we're currently at our farm in Netlham, where we grew our oat crop last year.
Your oat crop has caused a talking point in Lincolnshire and probably all around the country, and certainly with cope seeds.
Yeah, so we, following the difficult times last year with all the wet, the farm wasn't planned to be coming with oats, but obviously we didn't get it drilled with wheat as we should have done, so we had to look at alternative cropping. We had been growing a few oats, not on a large scale, mainly to get us some cover crop seeds. But we then looked at growing oats at Netlham. We looked and spoke to quite a few of the merchants and looked at the cope seeds variety Merlin, which Merlin looked good and suitable for what we was wanting to do across our farm. So we went with the Merlin and cope has obviously given us a lot of help and advice throughout the year growing the crop.
You touched on the yield there, Mark. Any other secrets? Anything that your land type obviously is in great condition, but you talked about various land types. What about drills and land work?
Yeah, so I mean, it's quite interesting. We're working hard to get our soil organic matter levels built up, and that's a big part of what we're doing across the farm, really. So we're getting our land in good shape. We're investing heavily in land drainage, and we're doing a lot of land drainage across the farm, and we're seeing the benefits from that. It's interesting because it was a challenging spring drilling the crops, and we had 3 drill types drilling it: direct drilling, Vardestat, which is our preferred method of drilling, and some sabre time drilling. But when it actually came to harvest, there was no difference whatsoever in the yield across the whole of the farm.
Disease-wise, a clean variety.
So the Merlin's been really good for us. Had a very minimal spend on disease for us, and it stood very well.
What about the millers, the bushel weights, and that side of things?
Yeah, so again, I was a little bit concerned of whether it was going to make spec, but it's actually all made spec with great bushel weights, and it's all gone into the mills really well, and we haven't had a problem whatsoever.
Drilling, Mark, you've got 3 drills, 4 drills?
Yeah, so we run 3 drills on this particular site, and we got it in. There was a window, so we tried to get it in as quick as we could with all drills. The main aim of the game was to get it in the ground, and obviously it was amazing. We got it in, and it was up and away. And obviously, like we do with most of our crops, we were straight on 2.5 litres of Delta, to try and get the biomass, because that's obviously where we get the yield from.
So the biomass then, Mark, obviously, if you haven't got the biomass, you're not gonna create yield. How are you creating yield? Biomass. Do you want to get that, Tom? Sorry, Mark. Without biomass, you're not going to create yield. You know you've got a variety that can yield. You've pushed it to the next level. How have you done that?
Yeah, so obviously from drilling there, as soon as we got crop emergence, I could see we had got looks like a good crop. Then I'm happy to start spending money on it. So we were straight on 2.5 litres of Delta to get the crop moving and away. Obviously, I work very closely with Agri, who do all of our agronomy across all of our farms. Stuart McDowell, he works very closely with me. We walk the farms together and make a programme of what we're doing. We use BioNature across the whole of the farm. New to it, BioNature was new to us with the oats. We hadn't used it on oats before, but we could quickly see that we was getting a reaction from the BioNature by a few trial plots. So after the first 2.5 litres, we was on again not too long with 2.5 more litres of Delta. And we obviously used the BioNature programme all the way through to the end with, again, the advice of Mark at BioNature, who took us through to harvest really with it.